So even though we didn't need the crystal to beat the game, we're not trying to kill Ganon here, we still did need to full clear that dungeon and beat Trinix at the end in order to get the item we needed. Trinix was holding my flute. It's not a flute, it's an ocarina, I know, but... Okay, so we could have cleared... That key that I got was not in logic. Because remember, that box over there, we needed a key to reach it, and I decided to spend the key on it. Whereas I could have skipped that box and finished the dungeon. And if in future randomizer runs, if I'm in that situation, I think I will. Because I think there's 2 boxes down here if you go to the boss. So I need to open that door. Is that the door I need to open? I need to make absolutely sure. God, I don't even know. No, it's not, because we've already done the puzzle with the bow and arrow. Oh, we went the wrong way in here. This is the wrong way entirely, I think. Oh, now I know why these stairs are here. Okay, because if this bridge crumbles, it doesn't reform until you go 2 rooms away, and the only way to go 2 rooms away, if you don't have a key, is for them to put an extra room down here. Interesting. So these stairs actually have a mechanical function in the game. Because if you don't have the key, this is the only other way to get this bridge to reform. Interesting. I learned something. Sometimes you learn things. Oh, but I gotta jump down and... I did this dungeon all backwards. We need to go up here. Wait a minute, my switch was on this side today, wasn't it? No, it was not! Brickroad, your memory is terrible. Why are you an 86-year-old man? Okay. I think this room probably has mimics. You need you need a bow and arrow to kill in vanilla as well. This should stay open, and so it does. And now this room is open. Wonderful. And we should be able to go all the way to the end now. So where is the one more box we're looking for? Yeah, this will take us to the boss, but there's still one box in here somewhere. I wonder if it's on the other side of that key door we didn't... Yeah, it must be in that one room we didn't open, up there. So if we get another Palace of Darkness key, we'll know to use it. Alright, who's our boss today, though? Armos Knights, eh? Well, you guys are about to have a real bad day. So I got silver arrows. And even though you've got your fancy spikes on the back row, the back wall there, they will not avail you. Okay, so yeah, that's our green pendant, which is progression from Sahasrahla. Might have an item we need. If he's holding our Desert Palace big key, we're golden. Otherwise, we're going to Misery Mire after all. But I think this was the right play. I think this was worth checking first. Oh, I can mark that square off that we have completed. Give me something. He gave me nothing. He gave me nothing. Alright, into Misery Mire we go. And, not for nothing, but if we full clear Misery Mire, and we don't have the big key for the Desert Palace, we're going to be going into Ganon's Tower. And there's 27 chests in Ganon's Tower. I'm not going to lie. That'd be really silly to have to go into Ganon's Tower to get the big key. That would be real silly. Maybe too silly. You know what I mean? Like, maybe that's a little too... But if that's the case, then this was a full dungeon seed. Oh, we need to kill these guys. Oh, wait, I don't need arrows for these ones, though. Yeah, no. They're not the arrow ones. Only the red ones are the arrow ones. I really should have just used Bombos in this room. Alright, if we find the Desert Palace big key, we're going to bail. But first, we're going to go over here. That's the wrong way. I'm good at this game. Just a heart. Oh, if I go around there... Oh, you know, I should have hit the blue switches first. Yeah. Let's go hit the blue switches first. That takes a key, but... we can get that box without having to use a key specifically for that box. Also, we need to be checking pots in this room. Not looking for the Goldie stars. So over here... oh, there's a blue switch in the way. Alright, if we spend a key down here... there should be one in this room also. Yeah, there we go. I need a refill. I need a refill, please. Thank you. Delicious. No, I need to go... no, hit the switch. The switch is hit. That's all we need to do. Then we can go back and finish getting our pots on this side of the dungeon. I didn't hit the switch. I thought I hit the switch, but I was mistaken about the current status of that switch. Now we've hit the switch. Good. Alright, we've got a vanilla button with some bombs in it. Now we'll backtrack through this room and get that... go around the big key chests. And we should be able to get that little box up there. Let's see. Nice. Nicely done. Okay. Big key 4. Desert Palace. That's as far in here as we need to go. And we should be able to go up and around this way, actually. If we just go right up here and pop the mirror, where we are. Exactly where we need to be. Okay. There should just be a key in this room. So there is. We're going to need a fire starter upstairs eventually. I love this room. There's just nothing in it. Like, what's the bottom floor of that room ever used for? Like, historically. I like to think that back in the day, there was a civilization of probably Gerudo, I would think, this being a desert, that was their execution chamber. Like, they just filled the bottom with, like, man-eating scarabs. And whenever a filthy man showed up in the Gerudo tribe's area, they just fed them to the scarabs. That's probably not the case. And probably the developers of this game didn't think that hard. And just wanted to make the room look pretty. Yeah, we need a fire starter here. Really? Spikety Man just gonna go straight through the wall here? All the way through, huh? Yeah, you go, boy. I guess that's why there's not one of those in this room. By default. So this is kind of our final boss of the game. Is another Muldorm. Were there 3 of these in this run? There were 3 of these in this seed. And too many eyes, I grant you. Like, for some reason they randomize how many eyes the Muldorm has. I don't agree with that. I think they look terrible and creepy. But, there's a compass. Our last pendant. And now all we need to do is go pull the Master Sword out of the pedestal. Or the Triforce, I guess, is in the pedestal, not the Master Sword. And our journey through Link to the Past Randomizer has come to a close. One quick flute away. I would love to have a seed someday where the last thing I need to do is get the pendant out of Skull Woods. So just walk out of Skull Woods and immediately hit the mirror. And you're Dunsky Doodles. So far, that God Seed has eluded me. But I hold out hope that someday I passed my hammer. Hammer? There it is. It took me a long time to find a group of, like, a flag set that I really liked for Link to the Past Randomizer. It's really easy to make the randomizer, like, really stupidly, freakishly hard. And I wasn't really into that. I like having the flag set that I have here because you do get trolled a little bit, but if you don't want to get trolled a little bit, you're probably not going to be playing a randomizer anyway, right? I guess the sword is still in the pedestal. You win! I do win. But man, that was almost a full dungeon clear. We had a couple dungeons where I didn't have to go into them. Like, I think Swamp Palace or Ice Palace. One of those two I didn't have to clear, but I ended up doing it. This was a 7,000 series train. I'm not into all the Link to the Past Randomizer community memes, so I have no idea what any of this means. But randomizer people do tend to go in and rewrite a lot of dialogue, and this randomizer has a lot of just meme lord jokey dialogue. Some of it has just been made super long for no reason other than to be irritating. On Death Mountain, if the guy kicks the ball into you, it starts at, ooh, I don't know if I like the looks of all that. Wow. If the guy kicks the ball into you, it starts this long dialogue automatically. You don't even have to push the button. And, it's like 40 text messages. It's really obnoxious. I don't know why they do it. Except to make it interesting in races. Like, oh, so-and-so got hit with the ball, and now they're stuck there for 40 seconds. All of these sprites are destroyed. There's not a sprite randomizer for the ROM, I don't think. I've seen randomizers that do randomize sprites, and I'm not... I usually don't turn that option on if it's available. I know the Legend of Zelda randomizer, it has a sprite randomizer, but that's also your enemy randomizer. Like, it changes everything and everything. And then there's like a fun mode flag you can turn on that changes all your items into random looking sprites. So maybe instead of shooting laser swords, you're shooting laser meats. He did sell us a sewing needle. He sold us a single arrow. That's all Zora had for us today. I feel the same way about palette randomization. Some randomizers have nice looking palettes. Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise, the palette randomizer that gives the characters different clothes and hair colors, is done pretty well. That's super ugly. I don't know what happened there. The Final Fantasy VI randomizer, actually there's a couple of Final Fantasy VI randomizer. They're calling him Lifeboy because he gave a heart instead of his flute, I guess. But yeah, one of the Final Fantasy VI randomizers, the palettes just all look god-awful. The palettes in this game actually look pretty nice. They do a good job of making, like, you might go into the Lost Woods, but instead of green and blue, or green and brown, it's like purple and blue. What I think this game, this randomizer, one feature that it has that I don't use though, is that it has a lot of custom sprites. Like when you go to generate your ROM, you can choose from like 100 custom sprites instead of just the default link. And I've looked at a bunch of them. I've tried, and it's really difficult to try them out because you've got to go through the whole process of generating the ROM and downloading it and booting up in an emulator. It takes 30 or 40 seconds, all told, maybe. But that's 30 or 40 seconds multiplied by 100 options on the sprite list that I wanted to look at. And yeah, the only other one that I like the look of is Zelda. They use Zelda's sprite from this game, and she looks nice because she's from this game, so she looks like she belongs in this game. Like, they've got Final Fantasy VI characters on there, and like Mario characters. Like, I don't want to use a Final Fantasy VI sprite in A Link to the Past. It doesn't fit, it doesn't look right, it clashes. But Triforce sleeps again forever. And now, if you don't play with the pedestal as your goal, if Ganon is your goal, some other random item gets rolled into this pedestal. If it's in your logic, then you have to defeat the 3 bosses holding pendants to come here and get whatever this item is. If it's your flute, or if it's your ice rod, or if it's something that you need to defeat a boss or reach a dungeon in the Dark World. And then the ending will say the ice rod sleeps again forever. So they put little touches like that in. They did a good job with that. Overall, I really like this randomizer, but Link to the Past is not my game in the same sense that especially Final Fantasy I and Final Fantasy IV are my games. I do love Link to the Past, but it's not eternally near and dear to my heart. I'll put it this way, it's not close to me in the same way that its little brother Ocarina of Time is. This is a fantastic game, obviously. And it's a game that I go back to a lot, especially now that the randomizer's out, but I'm never going to know this randomizer as well as the Final Fantasy randomizers you guys have seen me play. Or even the original Legend of Zelda randomizer, which I still prefer to this. That said, the more I have played this game, this randomizer, the more I have enjoyed it. I'm glad that I found a flag set that really works for me. I think the pedestal flag set... Ooh, I didn't click my little button here. Boop. How else would you guys know I had the Triforce if I didn't click that little button? It took a lot of work, though, to find a flag set that I really liked. I had to push through a lot of seeds that I really didn't enjoy playing in order to find the flag set that I liked. This one took a little longer than normal. I feel like I had to push through a lot of extra dungeons this time, and I had to really rack my brain thinking of where small keys might be hidden. I think a good option to add to this randomizer would be an indication that a small key is in a room. Like, make a pot that contains a small key have like a glint to it, or an enemy that's carrying a small key, because then if you don't just know where the small keys in the dungeons are, you can get locked out, like I did in this run. Like, I went through Turtle Rock and I used all my keys, and I had there was a door I couldn't get through, and I know there's a bunch of treasure boxes still out in the world, any one of which can contain a Turtle Rock small key. And the reason we didn't get that small key when we were in the dungeon before is because the first time I was in that room, I had one that I had brought in from outside. And it sounds like I'm complaining, it sounds like this is a kind of a situation that shouldn't arise, but that's why I like the key sanity flag, is because it makes you really... when you have all your small keys are out there somewhere. Some are in logic, some are not in the logic. it really emphasizes the scavenger hunt feel of it. If with that turned off, what ends up happening is by the time you do the whole world map run and pick up everything, you're pretty much set for the whole game. And then because all the keys are in the dungeons that you need them in, wow, Flute took 3 hours and 19 minutes to find. Woo! We killed nobody swordless. Most of them we kill with the gold sword. But yeah, if all the keys you're looking for are inside of the dungeon that you need them to be in, then all you need to complete a dungeon are the dungeons that you need. Total lag time, 17 minutes of lag? That seems excessive to me, but that's what happens sometimes with the enemy randomizer. It loads up rooms, a bunch of monsters that aren't supposed to be in a room can cause that kind of lag, I guess. Anyway, guys, open world, key sanity randomizer with the enemy flags on. That's what I like in Link to the Past randomizer. Let me know if you liked this series, because I do sometimes go back and revisit randomizer series. I might do it again in the future. I want to thank everybody for watching. I'm glad I got to bring you some rando, and I'll see you in the next series. Shoutouts to the Right Honourable Judge of New Scotland for sponsoring this video, and to everybody who helps make my channel possible by supporting me on Patreon.